to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
I just didn't hear, but mine was
Yeah, it was tough. Woo! I hope you're doing good though, because we've actually
doing well.
Yeah, we got to make this a quick one, but it's a quick thing. We're gonna be a bit of a heavy-handed show.
Yeah.
Because you gotta leave, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna try to make it as light as we
We'll
can,
make it as light as possible.
because there's a lot of stuff going on over the last
Yeah.
like at least few days that not a lot of people are happy about,
Yeah, of course not.
because this sport is a daily decision into being
Yes.
a fan. But I got a question for you first, Jay.
Shoot.
Do you like mischief?
I do.
Do you like tomfoolery? Do you like
Depends of what kind.
madness?
I do. Do you know what else I like, Jake?
College hoops
Money.
and
like
money.
money.
Yeah. There's a lot of
I like
good.
money.
There's a lot of good M words this March, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
March Madness is underway, everybody. The action is just getting started on DraftKings, one of America's top-rated sportsbooks, and right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. We have our same-game parlays and all that fun stuff for bigger payouts. DraftKings will feature parlays and odds boosts all tournament long, so be sure to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day to see what they have in store. Now, I know you recently got a big payout with your Fairleigh Dickinson pick
Oh my
earlier this
God, yeah,
round.
dude. I won like a good chunk of. Do you know what I won a good chunk of money on the other day that like made me laugh my ass off?
What?
Let me pull this up for you. So I do not watch soccer. Okay, I
Mhm.
don't. But one of the rewards that I had was that I could opt into was it was a 100% soccer profit boost. So I was like, what if I just put $15 and used the boost on a game to tie? I'm not gonna watch the game. I do not care about the game, but like
So
it'll
you
probably
took
pay out a decent amount.
so you took your March Madness boost and put it on a soccer bet? Is
No,
what
it
you're
was just
saying? No?
it was just a soccer boost, straight up. That was one of
Okay.
the things. But I don't bet on soccer, so I hadn't used it. I've had this thing for probably a month or so.
Mhm.
So I put it on this game that was going to happen like a week from now, and I completely forgot about it. Okay, I forgot, and then I wake up, and then I go into my app. I won $110 on this bet.
Wow. Like I said, I'm not the biggest March Madness guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not the biggest college hoops guy, but I'd probably put some bets on some favorites, maybe a couple upsets here and there.
Yeah, so I figured someone on Reddit posted like there is like basically evidence where the first two rounds
Mhm.
of the tournament, if you just bet every single game on the upset,
Yeah.
you'll win money.
Right, because there's
So
so many that happen over at
let
least
me
the first
explain
two
this as a
rounds, right?
science as fast as I can because I know we don't want to make this too long. But
Right.
if I put $5 on every upset, when Fairleigh Dickinson won, I
Yeah.
won $69. Nice.
Nice.
So if you think about that, how many games does that essentially cover? Let's do 70 divided by 5. That essentially I will have made back my money anyway, even if the 13 other games that I bet the upset under don't
Man.
win. So like if I even just get 4 or 5 or 6 of those to be upsets, I've already gained money.
Well, there you go. And
So
you can do
it's
the
a
same
smart
thing.
betting. Yeah.
You could do the same thing with our friends at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with the code THPN. Right now, new customers can bet $5 on any pregame moneyline bet and get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. All of our fun stuff always down below with the disclaimers and all of that. And now we get Kepi Keepers, and this is probably the easiest thing in the world.
Who are you giving it to?
You want me to go first?
I do want you to go first.
Okay.
Because I don't want to match today. I have 2 guys in mind that I want to give.
You don't want to match today. Okay, cool. So that's fair. It's going to 91. It's going to the Michigan boy. Yeah. It's going to KJ.
On the anniversary of the Michigan, that's so incredible.
The anniversary of the Michigan, he's done it at the BCHL level. He's done it at the World Juniors. Ironically, he didn't get it when he was playing in Michigan.
Yeah.
But now he's done it at the NHL, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, and it was incredible. And think about the goalie that he did it against. He did it against Ilya Sorokin. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, Vezina caliber Ilya Sorokin. Like, yeah, that's
fantastic.
And it's like the simplest thing in the world. Like, you think about how Michigan is done, right? Sometimes it's so difficult because it's a lacrosse goal on ice.
You have to put that puck in a position where you can balance it and lay it flat
where
on
you
your
can
stick,
scoop it.
So you can scoop it without losing control of the puck. And on top of that,
you
need to have the time and space to not have anybody knock you off the puck, knock you off course, and you have to be able to beat the goalie clean. And it's a good goalie you're doing it against. Like, it's so hard to do.
Well, think about previous Michigans and other kinds of lacrosse goals that we've seen over the last just couple of years, because they're happening left, right, and center anymore.
Do it several times.
Svetch has done it like 2 or 3 times. Zegras does it while he's moving.
Zegras does it as a pass.
Yeah, Zegras does it as a pass. We've seen Philip Forsberg do one recently.
Oh yeah, Philip. I forgot about his. His was sick. We don't really talk about that one a lot. That one was like incredible.
No, because he didn't even go dig down and scoop
it was
at
so
it.
Quick.
It was so like fluid, the motion of it. But KJ,
there's also something about the fact that like a right-handed stick did it. Because we don't see that a lot from right-handed players.
With Philip?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like doing the Michigan, like a lot. I feel like a lot of times when we see the Michigan happen, it's a left-handed skater doing it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's interesting, isn't it? Like just kind of picking apart the goal as it is. But KJ doing it is just special because like he played in Michigan. He's done it so many other times.
Got 15 goals on the year now.
That's a good rookie total, I think. Like, especially for this team this season, that's a great rookie total.
Absolutely. I mean, we still got some games left. He's got 37 points.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this, Jake. If he's 4 points, and he'll be a half a point a game player on the year.
Damn, KJ, go off, buddy.
And it feels like we haven't really noticed that.
No, well, because
it's very quiet.
Well, because we're focusing on Johnny. We're focusing on Patrick, who's unfortunately out for weeks now.
Yeah. We're focusing on how bad the team is.
We're focusing on the rough patches. But then when we get into do this kind of segment, we get to shout out guys like Kirill and KJ and Johnny for the 10th time and
Liam.
Did I spoil it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm a big believer in you have to go both ways on someone. If you're going to criticize them, you have to give them credit too. Liam's been playing really well lately.
He has. And we've,
I'm slowly starting to gain a little bit of confidence with this player.
He's such a roller coaster player anymore because we've talked about it ad nauseum, right? Just the ups and downs we've had with this kid all year long. And now that he's becoming a bit of a goal suck in the bottom 6 and playing on the second line last game.
Bottom 6 minutes primarily, last 8 games, 6 points, including 4 goals.
He's finally like, it took him plenty of time, but I don't know. I hope this stays.
This little bit of a stretch that he's gone on, Jake, has put him to a point. He's now shooting 10.7% on the season. Now that's not like a staggering
much
number,
better,
but
much better.
I never would have thought that he would have gotten into double digits with his shooting percentage this year with how he started.
I mean,
it's impressive that he's able to get there. Like he's really turned things around.
Yeah. So I mean, KJ was the obvious pick.
Yeah.
And then, you texted me when I was just like, I was drowning yesterday, literally. And you're texting
this guy
me.
Can't stop scoring.
You're texting me. You're like, "Oh my god, Liam can't stop, won't stop." And then you texted me about the Michigan, and I just like I had like 5 minutes taken out
Yeah.
trash, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I would love to be excited with you, but it's bad."
No, I get it. It's exhausting.
Oh boy, yeah. Two young guys too. I like that.
Yeah. Two really young guys.
Two really young guys. Did you notice this too? Their jersey numbers are like swaps of
Flip.
each other.
Yep.
It's pretty fun.
Palindromes.
A little palindrome action with 19 and 91. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah, but that's Kepi Keepers by DraftKings with Kent Johnson and Liam Foodie getting some more love as the season winds down.
Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to?
The recap part, really quick.
Yeah. I'm just wondering
We'll
how we go after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what games do we have to recap? Islanders.
Islanders,
Capitals.
the friggin' Capitals mess.
Oh man, we're on a 2-game win streak.
And then I think the Vegas game too.
Let's not talk about the Vegas game.
We don't need to, but even
We don't need to talk
well,
about the Vegas game.
good for Liam getting the garbage goal, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
A
so
lot of
Washington-
offense in the last 3 games. They've scored 14 goals in the last 3 games.
We're the ones that came back this time against Washington. Jesus.
They've also given up 17 goals in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Good God.
Now, on a personal level, it's nice that Elvis is back with the team.
Yes.
Like he was able to take his time with his family and do all of that, but it's nice to see him back with the team.
Yeah.
Hutch does Hutch things.
Hutch is who he is. I'll say this.
Yeah.
The last couple of starts have been bad for Tarasov. He gave up 5 against San Jose. He gave up 5 against Vegas. He gave up 6 against Washington. But he went 2-1 in those games.
It's
so
a
it
shame
felt like
because
early
like
in his career,
his
like,
statistics look awful
because of them.
he's because of them, and he's got like an 858 or something.
Here's the thing,
last
though.
Little stretch, and it's just like this poor kid.
He's 4-11 with an 892 on the season, but like a lot of it's because he started the season off playing well, but they just weren't winning games. And now it's like it sucks that he hasn't played well in this stretch, but it's nice to see that the reverse has happened and they're starting to pick him up.
Yeah.
So that's one positive to see about this. So the Washington game was a wild game.
Carnival, Ovi, Oshie, Sherry, and Robbie in the first period.
So you're down 3-0, then you make it 3-1, and then did you see Boakfist's goal?
I didn't see Boki's goal, no.
Dude, he was like almost by the goal line.
Oh,
and he just picked the corner. I can't believe he squeezed it in. It was
it's great to see Boki finally picking it up, and no wonder you gave it to him last time.
Dude, he's been like I said, like
he's unreal.
Look at the last 6-7 weeks. He's been phenomenal. He's been great.
Second period was Boakfist, our old pal Sonny. How unfortunate.
I bet on Sonny to score.
Yeah, you did. Then we got Rosie and Nick Jensen. So we got a little back and forth action. And then the third period was Boki again. This kid can't stop.
Yep.
Bemmer, Jensen again, and Boone. And then
we went from Jensen to Jenner.
Yeah. And then Rosie was the overtime hero in that one, giving us the extra point.
And Johnny made a great pass, and Rosie just picked a spot. And good win for the team to battle back a positive, and then
against
the same thing happens.
Against a fellow seller in Washington? Like, this is weird, the season that they're having.
It's weird to see Washington sell, but they made the right choices. And then against a wild card team in the Islanders, they battled back again. They were down 1-0 and then 2-1, and then they went up 4-2, went to overtime. They won the game. So we get Parise starting things off. 20 goals in the year for Zach Parise.
Good for him, man. Like,
he has not lost it that too much, eh?
That's like, because he's, is he over 35? Like, he's around 34,
he's
35
37.
now. Yeah? He's 37? Oh, God.
Yeah, I want to say he's that old.
But still, it's like it's good to see like a veteran touch
38.
38. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But like still
03
score.
draft.
Oh, the classic.
Yeah.
Classic. It's nice to see a guy like that, still have a scoring touch that nice
Absolutely.
to score
This late in
20
his
or
career.
more. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who literally not that long ago got bought out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not because he sucked. It's just because he wasn't nearly worth the money. No, he can still play. I think
it was the
going to a
term
Lou,
too. It was the
yeah,
term.
and going to a Lou Lamoriello team was the best thing that he could do. And he's fitting very
Yeah.
well. He's playing well, and good for him. But then Johnny on the power play ties it up. The power play's actually been cooking lately, which has been a good thing.
Yeah.
Brock Nelson scored the first of his 2 goals. He's up to 32 goals in the year now. He's had a great year.
No wonder he was their all-star. Even though, I mean,
Liam Foudy. Yeah, Liam Foudy from Jack Roslovic ties it.
Yeah, there you go, Foods.
Then the Michigan.
Yep.
And then Eric Robinson makes it 4-2. Bemmer got an assist. And
Robbie's had a great year. Like for him, like he's had an awesome year.
Hunter McCown.
Hunter McCown, first point. I love that. He was
good for him.
He was the kid that I was trying to think of last time.
Yes. So that made it 4-2.
Was he like just a college free agent or whatever?
He was a college free agent. They got him a 3-year entry level deal. He played for Colorado College for 3 years, I want to say.
And he wears 41, which Mr. Alex Wenberg wore best.
Yeah. So yeah, he played at Colorado College. 21 goals in 38 games this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Go off, Hunter.
6'1" center, shoots right, from San Jose, California.
Wow, there you go.
He's still
some
only
Bay Area
20
love.
years old. So they gotta usually when you get a college free agent like that, they're a little bit older. 20 years old. That's pretty good.
It's not a bad pickup, huh?
Yeah, I like that pickup.
Yeah.
The Islanders get 2 goals to tie it. They get it from Palmieri and Nelson. They go to overtime, power play. Boone Jenner from Adam Boqvist and Jenny Gaudreau. Ball game.
Captain.
Yep.
Doing his thing.
Captain getting the game to set sail.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good. I like that one. That's a good one.
Thank you. Sometimes I'm spontaneous.
Sometimes like
I can make anything happen at any given time.
You got to use DraftKings for that first. All right, so let's get into the heavy-handed stuff today. The first one is the most recent one, and it unfortunately involves our favorite desert dogs.
Yep. We'll start this off with a content warning, simply because, it's I think it's obvious for.
Probably, yeah. So content warning, and let's get into it. So this broke overnight. Obviously, we got a garbage nothing statement from the league about it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's scary.
So Andrew Barroway, he's the minority owner of the Arizona Coyotes.
And their alternate governor?
Yes. So he was arrested in Aspen, Colorado, on charges of 2nd-degree assault, a 4th-degree felony, 3rd-degree assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and domestic violence, according to Aspen police. The National Hockey League is aware of the arrest of Arizona Coyotes minority owner Andrew Barroway. The NHL statement said, pending further information, he has been suspended indefinitely.
Felony strangulation was the was the charge written down.
Let's see.
So he gets arrested for choking somebody out.
Yeah, it's 8:40 a.m. They were called to Limelight Hotel. There were reports of yelling and screaming. According to the affidavit, his wife appeared to be in distress and she was heavily crying. Seemed to have
Ugh.
been crying for a while, had bruising on her ankles, knees, and blood on her hands.
Why is it always the Coyotes?
I mean, like, I know we talk about the Coyotes a lot, but like,
Yeah, but
it's always this league.
it's always this league, and it's always either something going on. Like, there's a reason why we kind of talk about the Canucks and the Coyotes as much as we do. It's because the craziest things on
Mhm.
this side of the league stories, they somehow always happen in Vancouver and Arizona.
Yeah, yeah. These things is pretty. I don't know if I want to get into more of the details because it's
No, we don't need
specific,
more
but
of the actual like charge details now.
I think like it's another bump in the road for the Coyotes, but it shouldn't be too hard to sell a minority stake like that. He should be forced to sell his
He should
stake.
sell his. And well, that's the hard part too, is as far as we're aware,
Mm-hmm.
it's just Maruello and him in like the core owners.
Yeah,
So like I don't know, it shouldn't be that hard, but at the same time, if you just leave it to Maruello and then who else can you bring in? Maybe somebody else from Gila River?
I have no idea. I
Because
don't know.
like
I
apparently
don't know
there's
the answer to that. I don't know the financials about
I don't
that, but
either, but it's
all I
just
know is it is unbelievable how bad it's been when it comes to ownership for them. They can't find minority owners that are good. They can't find majority owners that are good. I mean, like I want them. I desperately want them to stay in Arizona because I think it could be a good hockey market, and there's a lot of fans there who care. But it's one of those situations where I'm almost to a point where I'm like, what if you just relocated the team and then eventually, like later on, brought another team to Arizona? You need something to happen.
we
Uh,
could I mean, we talked about trying again in Atlanta. There's Houston is like the obvious one.
I mean, it's just like how long can this go on?
I
It's
don't
all the time. Do they not vet these people?
know. I don't know. I mean,
What goes
Gary
into the
Bettman
vetting
does.
process for ownership in the National Hockey League that this always happens to frickin' Arizona?
Bettman obviously does. So I don't know.
Well, clearly, like he does with most things, he does a shit job at it.
Yeah. It's like so here's my question, right?
Sure.
The public vote
Yes.
for the like arena district
Yes.
that they want to try to do
Yeah.
happens in May, right?
I can't think of any good reason
How much
to vote
does
yes.
this how much does this affect that? And how much
I
does
think it
that
will affect it. I think it should affect it because uh, what my one of my questions is going to be if I'm going to do this, I need to
Mhm.
know that you've got responsible people owning the team.
Yeah.
So what's going into your process for determining who can buy a share of the team?
Hmm.
And second of all, I need to know that you're going to be financially stable. And if you can't find someone to replace this guy,
Hmm.
this team's going to be in more shambles than they already are.
Yeah, they're already like they've been borrowing from the revenue share for how many years?
Oh my god, for like what, the last 20?
They've been
Say
around
what you
since
want about revenue sharing. Like I know that like, Columbus is obviously had their fair of revenue sharing along with like Florida and other teams like that, but we don't have these issues.
no, the McConnells always stay very under the radar.
Yes.
Um, you never hear anything about the McConnell family, really.
Who owns the Florida Panthers?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I could ask Kat. She
That's
maybe like
wait, you have a friend named Kat who's a Panthers fan?
she was in the AMA, dude.
Oh, that's right. I'm not gonna lie. a person named Cat being
is a Panther.
awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
here's the thing. She's from Florida, so like I don't know if
Yeah.
she's Bolts or a Panthers fan. Either way, she
I'm
just asked
sorry.
me
If
about.
you're named Cat, you have to be a Panthers fan. I'm sorry you have to miss out on all those Stanley Cups, but it's required.
Shout out, Cat. Love you. I don't know because with Columbus, now there's finally, the fan base is building. They've sold out 4 games in a row. There's in the 10th sellout of the season last night. Like things are
They're
finally
the worst team in the league.
the worst team in the league, and they've got 4 sellouts in a row. They've got 10 on the year.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like they're finally
It's a good
building
thing.
something.
Yeah. So, I don't worry about Columbus, and I don't really worry about Florida either, to be honest with
No,
you.
because
Like,
look at what they did last year.
yeah.
And they made this huge trade to get Matt Tkachuk this year. Obviously, it's not really panning out
Think about
that
the area.
great.
There's a difference between the areas, like North and South Florida.
Mhm.
Like the further you get down, the more fair weather it gets.
Well,
Like
it's funny.
Jacksonville's got very passionate fans. Tampa is actually pretty passionate. Maybe not necessarily about the Rays, but
I've said this
Bucks and the
because
Lightning.
I've said
But
this because
Miami,
people, yeah, that's Party City.
yeah,
People forget that Florida is the South because you think about Miami and Tampa. And
yeah,
the ironic thing is the further north you go, the more southern it gets. It's really
yes,
funny.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a weird state, but yeah, no, like you think about Miami because that's basically where the Panthers are. They're in Sunrise, which is half an hour away from Miami.
More
So
or
you think
less, I
about
think.
like the Heat, you think about the Panthers, you think about the Dolphins,
Mhm.
you think about the Marlins. It's a very fair weather city. If you don't play well, you're just not going to get attendance. So if they
Right.
do play well, you will get attendance. So that's all it comes down to with them. So I think they're fine.
And their teams don't, well,
They haven't sucked in a while.
other than the LeBron Heat, I guess, and then I guess the Heat now, like they're fine. But that's really the only like franchise that has had like that kind of sustained championship success, really.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say championship success. They've won a playoff round, but I understand what you're
But like
saying.
you get what
'Cause,
I'm
like,
saying, right?
yeah,
Because like
because
the Marlins only have one
oh,
World Series to their name, and that was what their
well, they have
first
two.
year. Well, 2.
But
Still,
like
like
it,
their first year,
97
and
and
then like
2003. So like it's a long time ago. They made the playoffs once since 2003.
2003.
So
We'll get to some fun stuff with that at the end of the show, real quick.
uh
But yeah,
the Dolphins have struggled for a bit, and yeah, the Heat have been better these last few years after
Mhm.
they had a little bit of a dip after LeBron left. But yeah, the Panthers and Heat are the top 2 teams in Miami right now in terms of
Yeah,
success over the last 5-6 years.
and the Panthers, excuse me, only won their first playoff round since 1996,
Yeah.
just last year.
It's been weird in Miami where it's like they are bad for a long, long time in their sports, and then they just randomly are good for a couple years.
And sometimes that results in a championship, that results in a run.
The Marlins were ridiculous at that.
So, okay, we've been on a Miami tangent. What the hell, Arizona? Like, how do you fix this? How the only way
I
that
don't
I
know
can
how
see
you
this
fix
get
this. I think
the
it's good. I think it's bad. I think this is a very bad situation for
this
them.
is super bad, and I don't know how this is gonna affect the public vote for the stadium and for the district because they want to build more than just the arena there. They want to
Here's the
build
thing,
restaurants, they want to build casinos,
of
hotels,
course, and
housing.
with a minority owner being suspended, this affects the financials.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I can't say to any certain degree how much this is going to affect it, but it's going to affect it.
Yes.
So we'll see how that plays out. Should we go to the next disaster?
The next disaster. I'm wearing my Johnny jersey
Yeah.
as representation, I guess, of this. And it's up and down for a lot of people. A lot of people are down on this because they kind of should be,
Yeah.
more or less. But What is it? So Adidas, the deal ends as
Yes.
jersey manufacturer. What after next year
Yes.
is when the deal is up? Okay. Um, and Fanatics is taking their place.
Yeah.
Basically, as like now, I'm like I said, I'm wearing a Fanatics jersey. Most of my jerseys, except for the old Reeboks, the Bob and the personalized Reebok that I have,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of just NHL jerseys, those are the only two that aren't Fanatics jerseys.
Right.
So for someone like me, with the budget that I have and how often I wear these things, which really isn't that often. Yeah, right.
Mhm. Well, I'm dying because I wanted to go to like an article and like get a little bit more research for this. And first thing they showed tweets and stories sometimes, and the
Yeah.
first one that comes up is my buddy Cam.
Oh, that's kind of fun. That's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, most of my jerseys are Fanatics jerseys. And for someone like me, like I said, I don't wear them often. I really only wear them for like the occasional show or going to a game. That's really it. Right.
Mhm.
So as long as they're sitting there and you keep them clean, you take good care of them, you kind of just let them sit there and they're fine.
Mhm.
They're fine. The jerseys, like, we know complaints about the crests like folding and
Yeah.
numbers ripping off and things like that. Um, so that's mostly fans' experiences with Fanatics jerseys on that end, on the retail end,
Mhm.
right? And obviously there's like people that get get things like, a Hughes 13 jersey or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Stuff
No,
like that
people have had
happening.
bad experiences with Fnatic. I haven't had a bad experience. My issue with
Neither have
this
I.
is the lack of creativity that's going to go into future jerseys. They've already given up on the reverse retros, which is something that weirdly is
Yeah.
something I think everybody universally liked.
So here's the whole scope of this thing, right? Adidas, the deal ends, and Fanatics is going to step in as the official manufacturer of the NHL's jerseys, like the jerseys that the players are going to wear.
Yes. Someone made a joke about like the jerseys. I think I sent it to you, right? The video of like the dude just
Yeah, he
ripping the
did.
guy's shirt off and
Yeah.
his fights with guys in Fanatics jerseys in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NHL.
Um, so like for me personally, I don't have that much of an issue with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can understand why people do because, for one thing, the factory itself isn't going to change.
Yeah.
Like they're still making them out of the same place in Quebec.
Right.
So it's like that's an easy change to make, I guess. The lack of creativity though, who knows if they'll come out with like a different series at some point. Because the crazy thing is this deal is a 10-year deal, Jay.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing Fanatics jerseys everywhere for a long time.
This is my favorite one from all of them. It's a Fanatics t-shirt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what's wrong with it.
Oh, I know exactly what's wrong with it. That's here. Scoot that over too in the frame. Just like there you go. There you go. Yeah, you tell us in the comments what is wrong with this. That is a
Yeah, that's an old timer.
that's
Yeah,
egregious.
Fanatics is I'm not a big fan, so
Their hats are like okay. They're just like kind of
I don't even
bland.
like their hats. I like 40. Like, granted, they're not going to go to
47's
47 brand
great.
jerseys, but
No,
47
no.
brand hats are my favorite. But
47
yeah,
hats are great.
what do we have next?
But that's what I'm saying is for someone like me that, it depends on your price range, right?
Yeah.
That and like, are we eventually going to start seeing like the Safe Light, patches on these at the
Yeah.
retail level, depending on how long they do the jersey ad thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, what's going on with this? All we could do, I guess, is just wait and see because we got a couple.
At least it's not gonna like we have the rest of this year and then next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes after that. But why don't we stay on the topic of jerseys?
Yeah. Yeah. Um the crazy okay. How do I even start this?
I have
Because
never worn a Johnny Gaudreau jersey ever. Never. I've never
never.
worn one ever.
Never.
No, I wouldn't wear one. I've
Give
never
me
worn one.
give me a second while I pull up photographic evidence of you wearing a Johnny Gaudreau jersey.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like I don't want to make this topic funny, but it is objectively funny.
That part's
tried
that
to-
part's hilarious. That part is super funny.
It is. Just to be like, no, I didn't.
So okay. So we've talked about Provorov
Yeah.
and his end of it. Did
And
we
now we've
talk
got.
did we talk about James Reimer?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we talked about James Reimer's end of
So
this.
James Reimer happened, and then the Stahl brothers happened. Which you know what I feel bad
all
for.
three
I feel,
all three of them are the same reason.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jordan Stahl because he's got to be like sitting sweating right now. He's like,
Yeah. Well, because like, did the Canes already do theirs?
That's a good question. I want to know if
I don't know if the Canes
because if they did and he wore the jersey,
that just makes Mark and Eric look even more shitty.
Look even worse.
Okay, so basically, if you don't know, Pride Nights have become a big snafu over the last few weeks
Yes.
for, you know, for certain players and their religious reasons. Essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've said my stance on this many a time. I'm also, of the Christian faith, and I believe everything that these guys believe, but I also think that these people in the pride community, in the LGBTQIA plus, everyone in this community deserves the recognition. They deserve to be included in this sport.
That's the thing.
Like,
I think that there's a lot of people like you. Like I'm not religious. I'm atheist, but a lot of people, like my parents, are religious, and they agree with you. Like there's a lot of people within many different religions, not even just Catholicism, Christianity, etc., who disagree with the one view of the religion of being against gay people, essentially.
well, that's the crazy thing with uh with James and with the Staals in particular,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
At least with the NHL portion of it. And I know there's plenty of other Pride nights, like the Sabres are doing theirs soon, right? The Canucks have all eyes on them for theirs.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just a jersey that you're going to wear for like 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not hard to do.
It's not hard to put on a jersey with a rainbow on it to celebrate this community that would like to be included in your sport.
It's not a hard concept. It's really not. I don't understand the controversy behind it. You know, we've talked about this before. I said it before. These nights, not even just Pride Night, military night. Like
Have you seen the jerseys though too? Because they're awesome.
Yeah.
The jerseys that the Panthers and the Sharks made for theirs, so great.
The jersey that he actually wore a couple years ago with the Canadians, those were cool jerseys.
Those were great.
Yeah. Like the whole point of those jerseys is inclusion.
Yes, it's saying
not
that
infringing on your personal beliefs.
No, it's saying you're welcome here.
You don't become gay if you put on the jersey.
No.
That's
no. It's not like it's got some weird like dipped in some chemical that's gonna.
Here's how I'll phrase this.
What's the meme? Turn the frogs gay.
Right. No, like it's like, it's not infringing on a personal beliefs. Like if you have no issue with gay people, the point of wearing the jersey is to show that you have no issue with gay people and that you welcome into the arena. If you decide not to wear it, even if that's not what you feel inside, if you feel something different, it's what that's perceived as.
Yes, and that's
And in
perceived
this
as
sport,
you are not,
welcoming.
yeah.
And that's not the message we want to send here. And that's what this is all about. The same way that you wear the military jerseys because you want to show appreciation for people who, fight for the freedom of the country. Not to mention, think about this for a second.
Hmm.
Like military night, well, that's for the US military. Most of the league is from Canada, Finland. You have people from Russia, Sweden, Switzerland, Germany.
Yeah, it's such an international sport.
How many, what percentage of players on each team are American? 30, 35, 40%?
Maybe.
So, just think about that for a second. Like, when you ask, your players to wear military jerseys, well, a lot of them, they care about our military. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, the point of it is to welcome and show support and to make everybody feel comfortable
Not to mention the
being
pro
there.
cop side of this too, because like
I feel bad for that
did you
kid.
see? Because the Thunderbirds were gonna do one and then they canceled it, right?
I can't imagine canceling it when you have him on your
The
roster.
only openly gay prospect in
And I
like the
want you to
whole.
think about this for a second because I saw a tweet that I totally agree with.
Now I will
This-
say that their teammates like doing the wearing the jerseys anyway. That's a great
Yeah,
step by the team to just go
absolutely.
ahead and do it.
Just statistically speaking,
Hmm.
32 teams in the National Hockey League, okay?
Yes.
And how many players do you get on each roster? You got 21 roster players and then 2 goalies. So 23 times 32. That's 736 players in the National Hockey League on
Jeez.
a roster
Hmm.
when a Pride Night will happen.
Not to mention,
Not all 32 teams do it, but let's say it's above 600
yeah,
players. Okay.
yes,
The likelihood that there is at least one
hmm,
closeted player is unbelievably high,
it's fairly, yeah,
probably several. And I feel bad for those players
yes. When
because
they're
they know
when their
that
teammates on their team aren't going to do this thing for 10 minutes.
not even just players on their team, but also players around the league that they might have a relationship with, that they might
Yeah,
have respect with, and then you find that out, and it's like, if you're a hockey player and you're closeted, I can you blame anybody for that? No. Why would you want to come out
think
in
about
a
the
time like that's part of why
yeah.
I have so much profound respect for Luke Prokop.
Hmm. Think
It's
about
not easy.
think about the camaraderie that comes with being an NHL player
Mhm.
and the kinds of bonds that you like due to the unbelievable way that this sport is played. Think
Mhm.
about the bonds that you have with your teammates,
Yeah.
right? How much is that severed when you have guys like the two Stahl brothers or Provorov or James Reimer,
And think
doing
about that
this?
for a second. Three of those guys are some of the most respected players in the league.
Yeah.
The Stahl brothers and James Reimer, who's been around for a long time and has had a pretty good career. These are guys that
Yeah.
people talk about. They're super nice. Everybody likes them. They're good.
Apparently, like,
Stuff
I mean,
like that.
listen to like Steve gushing about James like
He's been
all the
gushing
time.
over him
Like,
for the last 15 years.
yeah.
I feel bad for Steve having to
I
go
feel
through
so bad for Steve with this.
because it's got to be heartbreaking. Because even some of the nicest
Yeah.
guys in the league who have unbelievable reputations are doing this.
Yeah.
So
Just put on the jersey, guys. It's not going to change anything about you.
that's the thing to remember. When a night like that happens, it's not about you.
It's about
It's about
everybody
them.
else.
It's
Yeah.
about welcoming people
Yes.
to your sport. It's how you grow the game.
You want to be
So it's not about you. Make it about them.
You want to include people in your sport, right? You've said this as players. You've said you want people included in your sport.
If you don't have any hatred for these people, it shouldn't be hard to do this.
Plus, like I said, it's just a jersey, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's more than just a jersey to...
Drew made a joke about this, but like I can't help but agree. Like when the whole Provorov thing happened, he was like, "You have Tony D'Angelo on this team, and he wasn't the one to do it. No problem putting on the jersey. Like, are you kidding me? If you would have told me Flyers defenseman refuses to wear Pride jersey before the season, I would have.
You would have thought it was Tony D, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the crazier part is like, Mark, okay, whatever. Sure. But like knowing that Eric did it 2 years earlier already?
What was the issue?
What happened?
Did he not realize it was a Pride jersey? Did he change his mind into your... I don't know. I don't
know. It's just weird.
I'll say this. Okay. And this is my personal belief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm atheist, okay? But I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic schools and stuff like that. Part of the reason I feel this way is because, like, I don't know for sure if there is a God or anything like that. So I don't want to spend my life caring about that. I'm going to be me and be who I am and be nice to people. And if God is real, I believe my actions at the end of the day would get me into heaven because I think I'm a good person.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
do you think that say God's real and heaven's real?
I mean, I do believe that personally, yes.
Are you not going to get into heaven because you wore a Pride jersey for 15 minutes? Shit, that's not a heaven I want to go to.
No.
Just think about it that way for a second. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do you think is that like, I don't know.
That don't sound like heaven to me.
No, I hate, trying to do this because, like, I have family that's very devout like this too.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it's just, I am of the belief that there is a God and I believe in heaven, and I want my actions to reflect that.
Absolutely.
And I know and I care about what the Bible does say about these things. And at the end of the day, is one thing that the book says, like, that's the thing. I'm going to care about these people because they're people.
Question.
Yeah.
Is prostitution a sin?
Yes.
Why was Jesus hanging out with Mary Magdalene? Like, the whole concept of Jesus is he's forgiving and he hangs out with sinners. Like,
yes, like
we all do. So, I don't know. Just think about it that way. Like, shit, even if, say, the Bible thinks it's a sin, like, God, the Bible thinks a lot of things are sins. We sin every day.
Yeah, look.
Ever told a lie?
You ever read the Old Testament?
Eric Stahl just did.
Yeah.
Told a lie.
The Old Testament is literally just wrath and fire and brimstone, and like, it's crazy when you read the Old Testament. And then you read the new one and come on.
Yeah.
Just accept people. If they're
exactly.
As long as they're not doing any harm to you, welcome them in.
Yeah.
Let them enjoy this game.
Of course. It's
that simple.
Yeah. I think we favored the point home.
Yeah. Let's talk just a few more minutes, because today, as we're recording this, I've been giddy about this all month long. You know this. Because I've talked about it ad nauseum, off the air too. And we celebrated Lost.
Yep.
When Lost came out.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Fighting Myself came out. I don't know if you got the chance to listen to that yet. It's a hell of a song.
No, I had a busy ass day.
It's so good. It's awesome. Healing Foot leaked today. Another one of those demos that
Mhm.
was finished. But today is the album anniversary
Of the
of Meteor.
classic.
Happy
Dude.
20th, Meteora.
Dude, it's so good.
I
It's so
love
good.
it. It's
It's
and
one of the first albums that I ever like really fell in love with because I want to say whenever like when I was probably like 9 or 10. Now,
yeah,
granted, the album had been out for a while, but when I
right.
was first starting to acquire music taste and stuff like that,
Hmm.
my old buddy who just lived down the street at the time, like we both had that in common. We liked Linkin Park, and we would
Yeah.
listen to Meteora when we would do stuff. So there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with the 20th anniversary of it. It makes you feel old as shit.
Yeah. Well, I grew up around In the End and Numb and Faint,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like I grew up in that era more or less. Like I was a child, but those were songs that I was listening to all the freaking time.
hmm
And to get these newer, demos of these old tracks that we've been waiting for forever.
Somewhere I Belong, Hit the Floor.
Hit the Floor
Nobody's
is
listening. Oh my god, dude!
nobody's like there. Can we talk about
So
the underrated tracks there? Because
yes,
everybody talks about Breaking the Habit, Somewhere I Belong. We talk about the
yeah,
singles because they are what they are,
and they're fantastic. But
and they're
dude,
amazing.
Nobody's Listening is a great song.
The Japanese flute
Yeah.
is so good. The remix of the lyric from High Voltage as a
hmm
part of that is so
Yep.
great. Uh,
Yep.
Session is
hmm
bar none my favorite instrumental they've ever done.
Yeah, it's really good.
Session is phenomenal. And Don't Stay is wonderful. Lying from You is amazing. My
Yeah,
favorite
just
though,
head to toe. It's just really good.
yeah, my favorite though. What's your favorite one? Pick one.
I'd say Nobody's Listening.
Nobody's listening.
Like that's part like I love it. It's like an underrated song, but it's also
Yeah,
like my favorite off that album. And
right.
don't get me wrong, like it's probably one of those things where like you have certain singles from an artist that are super popular, and you like those songs, but they get played to a point where you start to like the other things. Like I
Yes,
would say, like For the Weekend, like Blinding Lights and Save Your Tears are good songs, but they're not
perfect. They're great.
anywhere
Yeah, but they're
near the top for my favorites because there's so many other underrated ones.
right
I would say that would be mine for Linkin Park, especially on the Meteor
on
album.
Meteora. Yeah, mine is another one of those like underrated gems.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's Easier to Run.
Yeah.
I love Easier to Run. It's so epic and it builds and just like everything about the riff and Rob's fills and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so I don't know, there's something so sweeping about it that I just love.
Yeah.
But then when we got lost and it's got that same energy that Numb has,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it didn't make it.
Right.
But then you listen to Fighting Myself and it's so hardcore, like it's very much a mix of like Paper Cut and Hit the Floor.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibes that I get
I
from it.
like part of the thing like with Linkin Park is just the range that they have.
Yeah, because you have Hybrid
Their
Theory and
catalog's
Meteora.
unbelievable. Yeah.
That's you have those two that
Mhm.
define their sound in the beginning.
Yeah.
Breaking the Habit was the kind of like starting to do the change.
What I've done.
And then when you get into
So
Minutes
good.
to Midnight, it's just this huge explosion of something different.
Yeah. And like
And then
it's all good. Like that's how freaking talented they all are.
yeah, and then you get
They
into
can do so many different things.
the electronica side of things with A Thousand
Yeah.
Suns and Living Things, and
Yeah, A
that's
Thousand
when
Suns was fantastic.
oh, it's such a great concept to the
Yeah.
nuclear war part. And then
Yeah,
Living
and like the
Things,
theming behind their albums too
yeah.
are also fantastic. Like, yeah.
There's a reason why Living Things is my favorite. Like it
Mm.
was the first full album cycle I was a part of. The Hunting Party kind of going back into the roots a little bit and getting more punk
Yeah.
with it and heavier, going back to that style, and then One More Light becoming more poppy and light.
Dude, One More Light is like
One More
in
Light is just
hindsight
gorgeous.
the most sad song ever.
It's gorgeous, and I love it.
Yeah.
But like Meteora was just that angsty, that's what so many of us grew up on was the hidden
What we fell in
anger
love
and
with.
angst and what we all fell in love with. And credit to the guys for branching on that and doing what they did with that, because it came out with probably some of their best material back in the day.
Oh, absolutely. And 20 years, it's incredible to think about. So happy anniversary to it. And in one more year, we can buy it a beer.
Yeah, there we go. We can hit the floor with some beers.
Yeah, exactly. So
All right.
I think that's it, eh?
That is it.
Yeah, we just made this a quick one.
I mean, we tried.
Yeah, no, we did great.
But yeah, happy birthday, Meteora. I'm going to be jamming to it as I'm working on this thing.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I listened to this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, go check out Fighting Myself and Lost, obviously. And I don't just say that as like a fan, like plug kind of thing. They're legitimately wonderful songs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we will see y'all in a few more days.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Garinger, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.